All right. So welcome back to Chapter 13, the Trig chapter. Today you're going to need to remember two pieces of information that you've already learned. One is Sohcahtoa. I should put a little angle here. Okay, that's the first thing you need to remember, Sohcahtoa. The second thing you're going to need to remember are some special right triangles. So remember, if it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle, then the sides could be 1, 2, and radical 3, or any multiple of that. Okay? And if it's a 45, 45, 90 triangle, we would call it 1, 1, and radical 2. Okay, that's review. Now, if you think about what we learned yesterday, we learned about radii that were rotating about a fixed point, okay? So now I want you to consider any point on this circle that we could consider it to be x, comma, y. All right? What does this blue horizontal segment represent? That would represent x. That's how far to the right we went. Okay? And what would this red vertical line then represent? That would be y. Now, does anyone have a guess what we're going to call the green line? H would be a great guess, but we're not. We're going to call it r. And how are we going to find r? R is the square root of x squared plus y squared. And how did we do that? What's that? What theorem is that from? That's just Pythag, okay? So here's what gets different today. Now, instead of considering the sine to be opposite over hypotenuse, here's our angle right here, okay? That's called theta. Get used to Greek letters because we're going to start using them more for angles. According to theta, what is opposite? And what's the hypotenuse? So we will just now start calling that y over r. So anytime you hear sine, you're going to start thinking about y. Okay? So what's cosine going to be? X over r. And then tangent would be y over x. Okay? Are you okay with that? Now, here's what else is new. We now have 3 new trigonometric functions. Okay? The inverse of sine, do you know what it is? It's cosecant. So, cosecant of an angle is just the inverse. It's r over y. Now, that is counterintuitive. I have screwed this up at least 100 times in my life. Cosecant seems like it matches up with what? Cosine. It doesn't. It matches up with sine. So I'm telling you right now, you're all going to screw that up. So try not to. Okay? Secant is the inverse of cosine. Okay? So that's going to be r over x. Hey, I didn't invent the terms, so don't blame me. Okay? And then, nicely, cotangent does work out. The cotangent of an angle is equal to x over y. Okay? So that's what you're going to be learning today. And I'm going to get the video ended there because that gets you enough to fill out the guided notes. And from here, I'll just help you with all the examples. Boom!